pure hell.
My brother says that too.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. We're at the 1 o'clock session on December 7th. This time on our agenda, we have a service award presentation. HR Director Pat Duncan.
That's actually.
Me.
Chairman.
We can do that. So Lori Frederick, come on down. On behalf of Valley County and all the work you've done for 15 years, I know you want to shake my
Are we
hand.
shaking hands?
Shaking hands. 15 years, thank you so much for all your work and your commitment, and we hope you stick around another 15 years.
I gotta turn around. Good, thank you so much.
Thank you, Lori, for all you do.
Thank you. Now you can go wash your hands.
I got sanitizer needed.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, we have a 2-hour break. We'll see you right back here at 2.
With all of the tax forgiveness, that might take us 2 hours. We had a few of them this time.
Way behind the news.
So our next agenda item is in about 12 minutes.
No,
Nope.
1:15 and
105.
oh, gosh, yeah. Come on up, Gabe. We're going to get right onto it. Our next item is an action item. It's a cancellation of property taxes 21-1 through 21-19. Treasurer Gabe State.
All right, good afternoon, Commissioners and Clerk Miller. Good morning. Afternoon.
Good afternoon, Gabe. It's like,
I would like to present several cancellation requests for property taxes. These are numbered 21-1 through 21-19. And I'll explain them. This won't take too long. Most of them are a similar situation, but
Okay.
this first one is actually a request made by the taxpayer. In this situation, I don't know if you've had a chance to review these. Okay. I won't go over it all then. There was they claim they did not receive their property tax statement. Actually, their reminder notice in June. They had a change of mailing address. They did call in a change of mailing address about a week after statements were mailed. And so I went to their old address on file. Typically in situations like this, I do not waive interest and penalties. That's what they're requesting this time, not a cancellation of taxes, just the interest and penalties. I explained that to the taxpayer. They asked if there was another route they could take, and they wanted to present this to you.
and I forgot, Gabe, how much was interest and penalty?
The total as of today is $432.86.
Full tax bill was 7,000 something.
Correct.
Hang on, I'm trying to find it here.
So they paid their first, is this their first time to be late? Can you track that?
It is their first time to be late.
I have no problem being the situation that it is, and it's the first time that they've been late. And if this was a repeat offender,
Tell you what we've done in the past, just to keep it as an option, is we've split it. Half. We'll cut half off and they pay the other half. Just an idea. Somewhere we have a packet that showed that.
this one says cancellation of taxes 21-1.
See, I just lost all my. Oh, that's not it.
And gave, within the office, your policy is not to waive anything, is that correct?
Generally, that's correct. It's circumstance specific. In the case of, there's just a variety of circumstances where I will waive smaller amounts, deaths, things like that. A change of mailing address, I typically don't. It's the taxpayer's responsibility to pay their taxes and to know what's
I'm
owed. and what
surprised
to
it didn't get forwarded. That's the only thing, I'm looking at, because honestly, the McCall post office has been a little irregular, and I don't know where this one's going. Yeah, this one's in McCall. Dave, what's your flavor?
Being that it's a change of address, I mean, that's a tough one. I agree that it seems like it should have been forwarded, but by the same token, it's not our fault, not their fault.
I'm gonna go ahead and make the motion that we, split the charge in half, which would be $216.43. If I figured that right, Gabe, is that right? We split it with them and cancel the rest.
That was just for the interest in the late fee.
Correct.
If that is what you guys have been doing in the past.
We've done it a lot with these, where there's been some kind of they will split it with, it's the only fair way to do it.
I will second that.
Okay, moved and seconded. Any more discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Right.
Aye, motion carried. And is that the only, oh shoot. Only one for that one, Gabe? You had a bunch with septic stuff or something, wasn't it?
Just a second, please.
You bet. 18, 19.
That's the only one like that. The following two, 21-2 and 21-3. I believe Chairman Hasbrook, you might be familiar with these. Assessor is very familiar with them. These are solid waste fees that were assessed to the Long Valley Preservation Society that out there in Roseberry. They had multiple solid waste fees on multiple parcels within that little area.
Yeah, what, 2 dumpsters, 3 dumpsters?
I'm not sure how many dumpsters they have.
I think they have 2 or 3, don't they, June?
I don't know how
One behind the
many
dance hall and one behind the store.
Yeah, I don't know how many dumpsters they have, but we had 2 commercial solid waste fees and 1 residential, and it was recommended that we go with 1 commercial solid waste fee. And cancel the other commercial and the residential.
And the residential, that was when we talked about last week, whatever that was. That was my idea, if you guys agree. But they gotta pay something because they're creating trash. I don't know why they have 2 commercial. I guess it's for the store and for the actual museum itself. But when they have dances or weddings and stuff there, they create a lot of trash. So I think we need to get something out of them.
Absolutely. So what was your recommendation?
Do away with 1 commercial and 1 residential. Keep 1 commercial. And if you want, we can throw the residential back on there.
What was the residential for?
There's a house there behind the store towards the east that Frank used to live in.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if it is rented out, you know?
There is
somebody
a
lives there.
residential on that, I believe.
So they rented that out.
There's a couple houses there.
I don't know
I think
if
they
it's
bought
rented
it.
or not.
Yeah. I think it's-
So if they bought it, then I don't know if we can do away with
I believe
that.
that's on the rolls. I think the private person bought the house that Frank used to live in, and that is on the rolls. That's separate from the Long Valley.
It doesn't include the residential on Long Valley?
No.
So where's the other residential?
That's correct. I know who that is out there.
Okay. Can I look at these? Okay, it's been a
So-
week, and I looked at
I'm still trying to find them, Gabe, honestly. We got a bunch of things that are just documents and not labeled.
I saw it too.
So I'm still trying to find which ones these are, but.
it. Okay, it was on the Johnson cabin.
I
Is
think,
there someone living in the cabin?
No,
Okay.
no.
it's,
Maybe that was one of the ones that they were using for
It's
part of the
document-
venue. Like, I know they had one that was
Yes.
like where, whatever, part of the wedding party would get
Right.
ready or.
Sherry, it's document 535. And there might be one in front of that.
Because we had two commercials. They have the church and the museum, and then they have the store. And then they have that barn with the Johnson Cabin. We had a residential on the Johnson Cabin, and we had a commercial on the store, and then on the museum. And
I could definitely see the store and the museum being as one. If the Johnson Cabin isn't occupied, I'm surprised they have trash service there at all. I mean, can't they just negate their trash service
They
there?
may not have trash service there. I don't know.
so the solid waste fee for the resolution is any building, any type of a building on a property receives a solid waste fee.
Yeah, whether it's vacant or not.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Correct.
Now, 21.3, you've got it down, June, that they already paid solid waste on multiple properties.
Let's look here.
21.3.
21.3, I just noticed an error on this page, the cancellation request page. It should be $110, not $330. So I've written in that correction. What were you looking at?
535, 536. Yeah, see in 535, it says again, they already paid solid waste on multiple properties. And that one was 332.
Oh, yeah, that's the explanation for both of these cancellations. It could have more detail in it. What that's referring to is the fact that there's still a solid waste fee that's assessed. We're not requesting removal of. They've got
Now I'm
the multiple.
confused.
All right. I'm sorry.
It's okay, with 537. Nope, that's a different one. So it's just those two, 536 and 537, I think. Yep.
So one of them says the special assessment is we don't need a cancellation of one of them. In our documents, it appears that we're canceling two $330 charges.
Yes.
That's canceling those commercial.
It should be one $330 charge and one $110 charge. That's the error that I was just referring to on this cancellation request.
So the 110 is for the residential one.
That's correct.
Okay.
It's parcel number ending in 3005A.
You want to make that motion?
So the only other question I have is, there is a home there. Will they potentially rent that home in the future? And
I don't think so.
no, so it's not a livable
No,
structure.
not that Johnson Cabin. No,
Okay.
I've been in it.
Then I move that we waive one $330 commercial fee for the Long Valley Preservation Society and remove the residential fee of $110, is that correct?
Yes.
Due to the fact that it is an unlivable structure.
Second that.
Move in second, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. Cancellation numbers 21-4 through 21-19 all relate to North Lake assessments that were certified to the rolls. There was some confusion in the way their information was submitted this year. These cancellation requests are for assessments for 2019. I should say certification from 2019 that actually stayed on the rolls and was re-entered for 2020, but should not have been. They did certify 2020 fees, delinquent fees to the rolls. We added those, but these were added also and should not have been.
So is this something they need to fix in the future, their process, or is it something we need to fix?
It's a combination of the two, really. Yeah, I've addressed it with my staff. So
Hey, remind me again, it's 21 what, 18 through
21-4
21.4?
through 21-19.
And it's changed. Two. Wow. So we're looking at that much money? $2,972.66.
That's on 21-4, yes. And that's, like I say, that's already been assessed or certified in 2019 and paid. So
Okay,
it's just an error. Should not have been added for 2020.
okay, everybody good with this one?
Yeah.
Do you want to do each one of these individually or do them as a whole?
I would recommend doing them as a whole, but whatever your pleasure is.
Do you know the total? Because I don't have a total.
I did not total these.
Yeah, because just one of them is the 2,900, so. If we have identified the process so that it isn't replicated in future years, then I think that's, definitely something we need to address, make sure it doesn't happen again. And then I would move that we approve the cancellation of the certified wastewater treatment fees that were in error from North Lake Sewer and Water District.
Well spoken. I'll second that.
Move to second, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. And what you got next?
Thank you. That's all I've got. I do have these for chairman's signature if you have time now.
You bet.
Is June doing the other two?
Yes.
You got them all, you're sure? 2116? Yeah, we did those. Oh, you already checked the approved and everything?
I started helping you there.
Yeah, I don't know. Anybody that's doing anything is gonna make mistakes. That's just the way life is.
That's hard to find those documents when you're all labeled as documents.
Yeah.
Especially when there's 29 of them.
I'm reaching out to June. Did anybody reach out to Scott and ask about the parking lot? I'm thinking
I
about.
haven't even got to that one, sorry.
You haven't said anything, Dave?
No.
Oh, you're talking about the ice out here?
Yeah,
I know they were working on it last week. Oh, I didn't put the date on.
that's a city issue.
Well, city, school, county.
That'd be
when
great.
they, Put the water back in the ground from their heating system at the school, it bubbles out over here in the manhole. It's known that for several years.
I'll have Scott address it because I think it's a.
You don't like our Cascade ice rink?
I was gonna say, if we just encourage it to grow and get some ice skates out there.
Trust me, I went down on it about 4 years ago, so.
Well, it's a big liability issue for the county to have that, so we've got to,
I think it's on the city street.
well, it's not totally on the city street. We park on top of it and get out and walk on it.
Man, I need a shorter name, Gabe.
Is that Spring Street?
That's the name.
That's what appropriate names.
It definitely isn't part of the parking lot though, and that's what I was saying, is like you can just go throw some sand and melt,
Yeah.
ice melt or something on it.
Yeah, it actually flows water.
I remember seeing that last winter.
Remember last year, both was about that ice rink over there?
I don't think I ever went to the source.
Yeah, just right there.
I was looking for somewhere to fill up a water bottle.
I just noticed it.
Yeah. You know, I just ought to get you a stamp and you could stamp them. for me, man.
I thought Carl scraped it off last week.
I guess it like just popped up right.
We'll have somebody go down that's coming into the DMV and we will have a bill owing.
That'd be great.
So that means we're trying to both sides of it.
Okay. Thank you.
We're almost there.
apologize. This took a few minutes longer than
Sure.
a lot of time.
Sure.
You're giving us time to sign our Christmas card.
I see the stacks of those.
Then more.
That's a short first.
We're all signed all of
There you are, bud. Yep. All right. Okay, we're gonna move on down our agenda. The next item is an action item as well. It's to schedule a joint meeting with McCall City Council to discuss the endowment lands. Who's in charge of this one? Dave?
So there were 2 other cancellations of property taxes, but
I don't know.
Those are value cancellations, Commissioner Mopin, at
Okay.
350.
Oh,
Oh,
that's where
got
those are.
never mind.
Is that
Okay.
value cancellation? Yeah.
Don't believe I put this on the agenda, but I think we're
Oh,
probably
I-
due to discuss it, like figure out what our next steps, what our next steps should be. I was thinking, from my perspective, I mean, if you, the one that added this in, let me know what you were thinking, but I was thinking we probably would benefit from maybe a call with Justin Miller from IDL. I think he would be open to discussion based on the conversation I had with him.
Okay,
So I think we could get in touch with him and maybe schedule him in for a phone call.
okay. I just put it on there just as a conversation about next steps.
Yeah,
Is it
no,
a
I
second
agree.
meeting with City of McCall? I mean, should we be meeting with the city and Dustin, Mr. Miller? Or just have our own conversation first?
I think I would try and set up a date with them either here or we can, 2 of us or one of us could go up there, whatever. It works better if we're in a regular meeting, so we can all be involved.
Yeah.
But figure out that schedule and then get back. That was my thought.
So do you think that we need to meet with Mr. Miller first, just with us? Or should we have a joint meeting with the City of McCall? I think they may have had a conversation with him already, I'm not certain. So,
Don't think the city's met with him, but I mean, I don't know if you guys are both aware like where the process is right now, or if you
no.
went through the whole the land board meeting last go around, and I mean, they haven't published an agenda for this go around, but they basically said, they lined out like a near term with a couple of parcels in the city limits of McCall. And then, midterm, I think it was like 3 to 5 years that included some of the parcels in the impact area.
And I would listen to the meeting. so-
Yeah, I was gonna say, and so there hasn't been really any discussion since then. There's some movement as far as just getting some comments in.
So Payette Land Trust did have a full conversation with him,
Right.
about some things, and, I'd just like to see an agenda, what are we going to try and accomplish between now and when they vote on this? And it looked to me, it was like maybe January.
It should be, I mean, they were gonna come up with, recommendations, and then they put the vote off until like their January or February meeting.
And during that meeting, what my understanding was is that they're looking for input right now. So we have an opportunity right now to provide input prior to the meeting in December. And that was why I put this on there is, we had talked about having a second meeting with the city after the prior land meeting.
Maybe, as I say, maybe the direction that we could go is we could ask Mr. Miller to join us for a meeting and have just hey, what sort of next steps do you see the city and the county taking? Because they very much want the city and the county involved in the process.
Okay.
What sort of proposal would you entertain from us if we put something together? And that would be maybe like background information, get some information from IDL specifically, and then get together and meet with the city again, towards, I guess, either the first of the year or just before Christmas. And then proceed on with our joint, conversation from there. So what comments do we want to make? Do we have a plan? Are we looking at a lease? What specifically is our recommendation or our proposal to them?
So I was concerned at that meeting, the very end conversation was, taking the McCall 80 and leasing it, you know, especially the commercial stuff up front, maybe putting some local housing in the back, but doing 99-year leases and putting stuff on there. And the governor flat said, I thought we were out of the leasing business. We don't want to be in the leasing business. So I would really like to clarify, you know.
I think there was a lot of confusion about that last statement because, I mean, I've talked to quite a few people and they all seem to have interpreted what they heard a little differently.
Okay,
So I think like maybe if we could get some clarification on that as well.
okay, that'd be great.
Is that the 80s? Is that what they call parcel G?
No, it's a piece of property in town on Dinehart.
Oh, that one
Across from
behind,
the well, it's next to the IDL
Yeah.
building now.
behind their place,
Parcel G was the wedding venue over on.
right?
And that's the parcel that they said was more like a 3 to 5 year plan for them, is looking at what the, you know, they would do with that was the second phase.
And my concern is that some of those parcels are our last, the ones that they have immediate access, that 80. But I think there were some other ones that were the cottage sites that they still have, and those are
Pilgrim Cove
the
area.
last access to the water that we have to be able to secure anything for future access for that lake.
I'm not super familiar with that piece of property, but it's nestled in Pilgrim